Guys, welcome back. Today we're going to watch a couple tear jerkers with family reunions and such. I think you'll like it. Check it out.
5 years ago today, my dad passed away. My dad had 3 other kids before he met my mom. Papa was a rolling stone. Okay, and this is one of them. His name is Toby. We met him for the first time at our dad's funeral, and that's my brother for real. This is our journey to meeting Leon, our half-German, half-brother. It's going to be his first time in America, so what better city to introduce him to than Chicago?
Oh, geez.
The plan was to spend a few days here and then head to Atlanta.
We're about to get our half-brother.
Honestly, it's such a surreal feeling. We didn't know how to feel. We were just excited. We've had plenty of FaceTime calls prior to this, but meeting in person for the first time was just amazing. But I can't tell you how amazing it is to have more pieces of him and to just be able to bond all together. Also, why does he look like...
Is that Drake?
Despite everything and every loss, how could we not feel grateful and...
That is awesome. What a great start. Okay, let's keep this going.
So when I was younger, I was told that I had 2 long-lost brothers, one by my dad's first wife and one by my dad's second wife, which is crazy, right? When I was entering into my high school year, I eventually met the oldest brother, which was pretty cool. And to top it all, we look exactly alike, even though we have different mothers. As the years go by, there was no more mention of the other brother, but I always wonder why. Now that I'm approaching 40 and my dad is a rising 70-year-old. Now my dad hasn't seen or heard from him since he was younger than 2. So I thought with the help of you guys, maybe we can make something happen.
Oh, wow.
So this is what I know. A child was born to a Rudy Edwards and a Mary Edwards, whose maiden name is Sudduth, who gave birth to a little boy between the years of 1976 and 1980 in early October, like between October the 8th and October 14th. And that's another fun fact. All of their birthdays, the boys, are in October. At this time, they were settled and living around the surrounding areas of Knoxville, Tennessee. Just like most fathers, they like to carry on a name lineage from their history, which normally be like a junior. But in this case, my father decided to give all of his children the same middle name, which is his middle name, which is LaRue, which in turn, I named one of my sons as well, LaRue. So here, as you can see, here's a picture of me and my dad, and also my older brother. So now, TikTok family and friends, this is where I need you. I need you to share, I need you to repost, and I need you to spread the word.
Very, very cool. If you guys know anything about the LaRue family and stuff and you can help, please do.
So my mind is blown right now. I went to my mama's house today and I helped her clean her upstairs area.
Child.
I am 39 years old, and nobody has ever brought this to my attention before. I have a brother, Dennis. That is my biological father, who has passed away. He passed away 5 years ago. And I have my biological sister, Kia. She and I share the same mother, okay? So my mom and my biological father, Mitch, raised my brother, Dennis, my sister, and I. I am the baby in that scenario. So my brother was born in 1977, Dennis. So I reached out to my grandmother also. And I just wanted to confirm the information that my mama just told me. Like, we got on the topic of my other brother, Dennis, because I didn't know how he was doing. I don't communicate with him. That's another long story. But, anywho, she brought to my attention that my brother, Dennis, potentially got a hold of this person. So I reached out to my grandmother, who lives in Nevada, because it was told to me that my grandmother was raising my brother, Dennis, who was older than me. He was born in 77.
Okay.
So this new brother that I'm going to be looking for was born under the name of Mitchell Sean Schwartz. Okay? That is my biological father's name.
Even the
So
middle name?
he would have been born between 1979 to 1981 by my estimation. And he was potentially adopted by some lawyers in California by the last name of Carpenter. I don't know where to begin in this scenario, so I'm hoping that TikTok can help me.
Does anyone agree with me? It sounds to me like her best bet would be to go to her brother that she's not communicating with, fix that bridge, and then get some information from him. It sounds like he already has met the other guy. All right, this one says, surprising my little brother after I lived abroad for 1 year. I never understand why family members move to another side of the country or out of the country altogether. It seems kind of cruel. Seems kind of cruel, just saying.
I had posted a video on TikTok in hopes that somebody could help me find a sister that I grew up thinking was a potential sister, but I later learned she for sure is my sister.
Okay.
I posted that video. When I ended up getting a lot of followers, a lady on TikTok reached out. I'm gonna tag her down at the bottom, and she was able to figure out who my sister was and who her mom was solely based off of a first and a middle name and a birth date with the year between 2 years, either 2000 or 2001. We found out all that information, and she got me all that information, and I am forever grateful for her. I'm so thankful. I decided not to reach out to my sister because, like I said in the previous video, I did on Ancestry and I didn't hear anything back, and I didn't want to push it. I just wanted to know who she was, like where she lived, like that kind of stuff. So I actually just got off the phone with her mom.
Oh, wow.
She was willing to talk to me about everything, and she answered so many questions that I had. She told me, you know, like where she lived, where Courtney lived, how she was raised, everything. And I was thankful to have that conversation. She was like, you know, I knew your dad was a great dad. She was like, he was so good to you and your brother. I always told my daughter that he was so good to you. She actually sent the letter. I don't know if it was after my dad died or right before he died. So my dad died within less than 2 months after my sister was born. My sister was born April 18th and my dad died June 10th. And I wanted to reach out and let her know that I've thought about her my whole life. And I understand if she doesn't want to talk, but I just wanted my questions answered, which her mom would be the best person to answer those because she was around. She knew my dad. She met me and my brother. So thank you. I am forever grateful for this sweet, sweet lady on TikTok and for my
Oh, I hope the sister breaks down and visits her. Why would you not want to see your sibling? That's crazy.
TikTok blowing up for this lady to find me, to be able to help me find this information out. I had a great conversation with her mom. She just answered all my questions that I had, and you know, she said she would talk to her daughter, and I just said, don't pressure her. If she doesn't want to, that's fine. I sent her a picture of me, and she was like, yep, you guys have similarities. We do. I think our eye shape is kind of the same. I mean, I only saw one picture. And then like my hair, if it was like, this is almost my natural hair, there's like some blonde in it, but like if her hair was the natural, her mom said it would look similar to mine. Just
She must
a
have
lot of
purple
things.
hair
I'm
or
just
something.
so grateful. I wanted to give an update on that because people were still commenting on that video, and I know who she is. I'm not gonna go forward anymore until she reaches out to me, and I'm okay with that because my questions got answered, and that was enough for me.
How awesome is that? God, what a great story if it finishes with her sister and her getting reunited.
If you're looking for a long-lost sibling or a child that you gave up for adoption, I thought this went without saying, but you must do your DNA. Get it out there, put it on Ancestry, put it on 23andMe. You're going to download it, you're going to upload it over for free, MyHeritage, FTDNA, and GEDmatch. You need to do that in order to find them. Now, it's going to depend on when they were born, what their age is. Are they old enough to have had children and grandchildren? Because then you can hire a genetic genealogist to go through your matches and see. Because if they're a half sibling, then you might have a grandchild, a niece, a nephew that's done their DNA, and you're going to have to do the math on centimorgans for half siblings, child, or grandchild. But you got to start with that. If you have a name, you're going to use people search engines, and you're going to dig and see what you can find. There are absolutely things you can do. Moving forwards is harder than moving backwards because it really relies on that person having done their DNA. So it's very important. Get your DNA out there if you want.
That's crazy. So apparently there's some routes that people can go to find long lost relatives. Awesome.
I surprised my Japanese mom with all her grandkids and kids after 4 years of not being all together.
4-year reunion. Here we go. Ah! Aw. Oh, that's awesome. That is beautiful. Aw.
Would you have a surprise for me?
I never thought that would happen. I never thought we
I could see he was sick or something.
I smoked. I was.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yay! Family means so much. All right, this one says, flew home to surprise my dad on his birthday.
Flew home to surprise my dad on his birthday. His reaction was priceless.
Oh, he's got to share his food now. No. Aw. That's beautiful. Aw. That would be a great birthday gift, seriously. If you haven't seen a family member in a while, let us know down in the comments. All right, this one says, my granddad's reaction after seeing his son come home from prison.
Oh, no.
Aww. That is truly from the heart right there, huh? Good stuff. Give him a hug. There you go.
All the time. They playing it, man. They did it, not me, man.
That was touching. Listen, I want to share a story with you of a mom and son that got reunited, but in order to do that, you got to come on a walk with us. So everybody go get your shoes. Let's go for a walk. Good morning, Venters. This is day 90, guys. We finished yet again another 90-day challenge walking with one another. Guys, I have a great story that I want to share with you, but it does kind of amaze me that what started off as a 90-day challenge, we've now gone through 3 of them together. So if you've been with me since day 1, put your name down in the comments and let me know. I'm so thankful you guys have always been here. It's been a real blessing in my life, this channel, and I want you guys to know that. I got a great story today. It's a miracle, partly because it's a good story coming out of Chicago. You guys know that Chicago is one of those cities that I consider to be cursed. There's a place called Give Me Some Sugar. It's a bakery out there, and if you guys would just think about what a great name for a bakery, right? Give me some sugar. They recently hired an employee. This is his picture. His name is Hunter Vermar, and he's proud of his ability to make a good pound cake. And Give Me Some Sugar is pretty proud of his pound cake as well. He always loved stopping by as a customer for a sweet treat or even a breakfast at this cafe because he really liked the baker who was behind the counter. Something about her and her baking just really brought a smile to his face each and every day. Jesse, did he really go there every day? Probably not, Bob, but don't ruin the story. That baker's name, by the way, is a nice woman named Lenore Lindsay. And though she never knew Hunter by his name, she always knew that he was one of the better customers for the bakery. You see, Lindsay, many, many years ago, gave up her newborn son for adoption because at the time she was just 17 years old. So she had a situation where she didn't really have that son in her life, but she always looked at Hunter in a nice positive way, knowing that more than likely he was probably about the age of her son. Now Hunter Varmer didn't know until he was age 34, guys, get this, that he was actually adopted. Now, if you guys like to read stories, you guys are probably already trying to predict the end here, and it'll make you smile. So
Check this out. After finding out he was adopted, he gradually got curious and he wanted to find out who his birth mother was. So he decided to take a DNA test. He ended up having a situation where his mother, his birth mother, was reached out to by whatever organization helped arrange his DNA test. And anyway, she ended up giving him a phone call. So one day, Hunter is there just kind of hanging out by himself, and his phone rings. He looks at his phone and the caller ID says, "Give me some sugar bakery." So naturally he starts thinking, did I lose my wallet? Did I forget my keys there? Why the heck is the bakery calling me? He picks up the phone and it's his mother's voice. And it's the same voice as that favorite baker of his at that bakery. Isn't that magical? Upon finding out that they were each other's mother and son, both of them literally started screaming. She said, when I called him, that connection was so immediate, everything in my heart broke open. Could you imagine everything coming full circle like that? You'd have to almost feel like the only way that could happen is if there's a God out there or somebody up there looking out for you to bring these two together. Just such a beautiful story. After a bout of health problems that Lindsay was having, her son, Hunter Vermar, actually began working there at the bakery with her. So if you ended up getting a bad muffin or two from there, chill out. It was just an accident. He was learning, right? But he says, it further strengthens my faith. You can't make up for time gone by, but what you can do is properly utilize the time that you have. Guys, tell me that's not a beautiful story. Hunter got to meet his long-lost sister, isn't that awesome? And extended family. Meanwhile, Lindsay got to meet her 4 new grandchildren that she didn't know before. So you know what that means, Venters. Tomorrow is day 1 of our next 90-day challenge, and it's gonna go right through the New Year's resolution. So where everybody else is waiting, we're not. I can do this, you can do this, we can do this. Let's do this. We drink water every single day. We walk every single day, and we avoid sugar the best we can every single day. We are the Venters, and we believe that if you join us and start walking with us, pretty soon you'll be able to tackle not only your health problems, but you'll also be able to solve some of those problems outside of health that have been giving you grief throughout the years. This walk has a magical quality. Not only does it shrink fat on your body, but it improves your mood. It makes it where you can think through problems that you weren't able to think through before. You're going to come up with solutions, and pretty soon your family is going to start to notice that there's a real change in not only your look, but in the way that you act and your mood. Guys, the walk has changed my life. I think it's changed a couple of your guys' lives as well. There's nothing more healthy you can do on planet Earth than take a daily walk. If you're having a hard time scheduling workout sessions in your day, every one of us, or at least darn near every one of us, wakes up at 6:30 in the morning to get ready for work. If you leave your house at 7:30, let's make a goal. We'll do it together, Venters. Let's get up and get out of the house at 7, and let's take a half-hour walk before we get in our car to go to work. I've been walking every day for the better part of my adult life, and I absolutely love it. Many of you guys have been walking with me from day 1, and while I know you guys are always going to be walkers, and I'm very proud of you, I'm really speaking to that person that might be here for the very first time. I want you to hit subscribe, I want you to hit thumbs up, and I want you to start walking with me. In just 30 to 60 days, not only will you start losing weight, but you're gonna start burning that cholesterol off of your body, and you're gonna start getting ahead in life, because when you're walking, you can think of ways to accomplish anything. So get your shoes on. It's never too late. Let's start working on making tomorrow a better future for us all. Yay! I love these stories because not only do they inspire people, but they get me kind of worked up. There's a reason, there's a rhyme and a reason to this world. There's a reason why certain things don't work out. All those things that didn't work out in my life have brought me to this point today. I believe firmly God wants me to help you get healthier in your life so that you can live a long time, so that you can watch not only your kids, but your grandchildren get older too. And by the way, one of the cool things about walking is if you can find a walking partner, it's that much better. The only problem is sometimes people in life let you down and they're not necessarily consistent when it comes to being your walkout partner. That's where me and the Venters come in. Me, Mala, Sean, Lily, Carla, we're all here ready to walk with you every day. Queen Bee, better known as Becky, she's here too. So is Terry the Terrify. We're gonna be here every day walking with you. So when you think that you're walking all by yourself in the neighborhood, you're not. We're with you too. We have a rule here. It's called the 2/3 rule. What's that mean, Jesse? Well, Bob, what it basically means is that if you miss a day of walking, don't freak out, don't quit. Simply drink water and avoid sugar that day. You're still doing 2 of the 3 rules. If you end up eating sugar, don't quit. Just drink water for the rest of the day and make sure you go on your walk. If you constantly obey 2 out of those 3 rules, you're probably going to get in the best shape of your life. I love the Venters, damn it. Let's do it. This is when it counts. This is when people start that New Year's resolution. You see a neighbor, they're a little overweight, tell them. Say, hey, I'll walk with you every day. Let's do this. Just because people aren't necessarily the best partner for you, that doesn't mean you won't be a world-class partner for them. You've gotten your routine down. You're going to be there every single day. So if there's an overweight person and you know their weight bothers them like the Dickens, help them out. Oh my God, somebody took out Santa Claus and the reindeer. Oh my God, Lily, they took him out. Mala, revive Santa. I think you guys were talking about that the other day, that those inflatables almost look like people that have been taken out as we walk by them. Guys, I feel so good. I've been walking now with you guys for such a long time. I don't even really think about my surgery that I went through too much anymore. I'm starting to lose that weight from Halloween. Here's the way it works. When you cheat on your diet for too long, eating a lot of candy at Halloween, it might only take you a handful of days to gain 5 or 10 pounds. Unfortunately, it's going to take you a couple of months potentially to lose that. That's why it's so important that you do something that you can do consistently. And when you think about taking a walk compared to exercising, it's just easier to do your walk every single day. With exercising, a lot of times your muscles need breaks. The problem with breaks is every time you take 2 or 3 days off, it becomes that much more challenging to get back into it. Now, if you walk with me, you're going to notice something that darn near all of us notice. For your first 30 to 45 days, there's a really good chance that you won't lose a single pound. And there's going to be some walks that are so enjoyable for you that you're actually going to question, is this even helping me? It is. It's just one of those things where you have to tell yourself a can of Coke is 150 calories that I'm putting into my body. A half-hour walk is 150 calories that I am removing from my body. So every time you drink a soda, it's not that one soda is going to make you gain a bunch of weight. It's the consistent drinking of soda that through time is going to make you gain a lot of weight. Well, walking is the anti-soda. That's what we should call it, guys. Walking is the new anti-soda. When you walk, it doesn't really affect your weight in a positive or negative way for a long time. But as you consistently walk and you consistently remove 150 calories from your caloric intake, so to speak, what you're going to slowly notice is that after a month or two, you're going to slowly lose 3, 4, 5 pounds. What's going to happen during that time is instead of walking for 20 or 30 minutes, you're going to slowly but surely get to the point where you walk a little bit longer. And when you are walking, I'm sure you guys have all noticed, you're going to slowly but surely get faster and burn even more calories. So again, we are permanently burning calories as venters and walkers. But what we have to do is we have to meet ourselves halfway. You're walking and you're getting rid of calories that way, but we also have to grow some discipline. Grow some balls, Jesse? Were you gonna say that? Grow some discipline, Bob. We need to get rid of those extra donuts, and we need to start saying no to the soda. That's where we employ Kaizen. Kaizen is a Japanese theory of baby steps. It's hard to get rid of a Coca-Cola addiction overnight. And if you try to quit cold turkey, a lot of times your body's gonna say no, and you're gonna end up going on a binge, and you're gonna end up never quitting Coca-Cola. Instead, do this. If you're drinking 2 or 3 sodas a night, which most soda drinkers are, just try to cut down 1 soda at a time. I'm a little worked up here because I'm excited. Cut out 1 soda at a time. So if you're drinking 3 sodas a day, let's start walking for half an hour to cancel out 1. And then let's try to go from 3 sodas a day down to 2. And then over the next 90 days, we're gonna slowly get that, where instead of 2 sodas a day, we'll drink 1 a day. And then we'll ultimately get to the point where maybe we'll just start having 1 a week. It takes a little time, it takes a little discipline, but through baby steps, we can accomplish great things. And by the way, your fellow venters have already employed this, so they know it works. Maybe that's the good thing about experience, right, guys? You start to walk every day, you start to avoid sugar, and even if you mess up and start eating sugar again and start gaining weight, it's okay, because now you know the plan. Think about that. You always know the plan. From now on, you just walk, avoid sugar, and drink water, and you already know in 3 or 4 months, you're gonna start having weight just fly off of your body. When you're brand new and you walk for a month and a half and nothing happens, you don't have that experience and that know-how. But if you've been walking with me for a long time, you already know what happens. Yay! This lady and son literally shared days with each other, not knowing they were mother and son. There's something beautiful about that. There's something magical about that. There's something there that can really help your faith in that story. But I want you to think about something. A lot of times, you and I are talking about subjects and we'll literally see things pop up, almost as if the simulation wants them to pop up. Well, I want you to think about something, because I thought about this the other day. Luigi Mangione, this guy that killed the CEO of United Healthcare, he, if you guys remember, was a valedictorian. Does anybody out there, Mala, Lily, listen to this, Sean, listen to this, please. Do any of you guys remember a couple months back, I said, wouldn't it be great if they created a TV show about valedictorians gone bad? Do you guys remember that? Valedictorians make the world go round if they put their smarts to good use. But if they put their smarts to bad things, they can really shake up the world. And I don't know if you guys remember, but I literally said something to the effect of, wouldn't that be an interesting story to see a video about nothing but valedictorians that had gone bad? And all of a sudden, think about it, a couple of months later, which in the grand scheme of things is just days later, all of a sudden we have a situation where a valedictorian went bad. Now, I don't know if that's going to give you chills or anything, but the other day when I saw that he was a valedictorian, it really made me think, wasn't there a conversation where I was sharing with the venters about valedictorians gone bad. If nobody remembers that, I promise you it happened. But if anybody does remember that, let me know down in the comments. Why does that happen? Is that just coincidence? Yeah, the non-believer will say that is completely coincidence. But if we do live in a simulation, or even if God is a part of this universe and He is in our lives in some way, shape, or form, then maybe all of this happens for a reason. I just don't understand why I would be talking about valedictorians one day and then literally a couple of days later, this happens. It's crazy. By the way, we have 3 kids here on scooters. This is how God talks to me. You see these 3 kids on scooters? Guess what your boy did this past weekend? I ended up getting those 2 Christmas angels off of the tree at Walmart. You remember we were talking about that a while back, ladies and gentlemen? Well, I don't know if you guys remember this or not, but I told you that it was kind of a tradition that my grandmother did, where she would go and she would get a Christmas angel. And I said, this year for Walk Talk Vent, that's what I'm going to do. And this past weekend, I got 2 Christmas angels off the tree. I think I kept a picture. I'll show you the picture right here. Guys, I ended up taking those Christmas angels, and they tell you, hey, there's 3 things here that the kids want. You can buy 1, you can buy 2, and if you can afford it, you can buy all 3. Well, I wanted to do it not only for myself, but for my grandma. So I ended up buying all 3, but the big item on both the boy and the girl little Christmas angel was a scooter. So I ended up getting them these scooters here that light up. What do you think? Pretty cool, huh? I might have it on this side. So anyway, I'm talking to you guys about a valedictorian, and all of a sudden I see 3 kids busting by on scooters. And the other day I got scooters, and I was trying to remember to tell you guys, but every day I was in such a rush that I forgot to tell you that I went and got a couple angels. And guess what I'm going to do this weekend too? It's my granddaughter's birthday. I'm going to visit with her, but I'm also planning on stopping into Walmart and getting another 1 or 2 Christmas angels and sending off some more gifts to those kids. Sometimes I talk horribly about people, and I feel guilty about that. I usually talk poorly about the homeless, and I usually talk poorly about criminals. These kids represent the kids of criminals and of homeless people and of people that don't have much money. So I just want you to know, even though sometimes I might come across as cold, who killed Santa? Who killed the polar bear? I'm not a cold person. I love people. I want everyone to be charitable and to do good things. And even though some people might seem like the biggest Oscar the Grouch or Archie Bunker, a lot of times they do mean well. And I'm one of those. So if you hear me bitching and moaning and complaining, that's not a part of my soul. My soul is I want to be a difference maker. I want to help people get healthier, but I also want the little kids that don't have anything, I want them to have the experience of a scooter. And the little girl asked for a little dress. I bought her a little dress for 5 or 6-year-olds. I asked a lady, hey, show me the dresses for the little ones. I want to get this one a dress. So I was able to get her a dress. I was able to get her some Play-Doh along with the scooter. And then for the boy, I was able to get some headsets and some crafts because he wanted to, I guess, build crafts. So that was the nice thing I did. If you guys want to be a part of that, then I would simply ask you to go to Walmart and take care of those Christmas angel needs by going to the tree that they keep at the front of the store and plucking off 1 or 2 of those things. And I'm telling you, when I was there shopping for those kids, the tears were coming down my cheeks, and I felt weird. I didn't want anybody to see me crying, but I was crying not really for the kids. I was crying because I just knew that I was doing something that my grandma would have been doing. So I felt like her presence was right there with me. If you show your kids and your grandkids good traditions, like being charitable, helping those that are less fortunate, going on walks together, showing people that you care, not only moving your lips, but using your ears and being a shoulder for somebody to cry on and an ear that listens to people, You can change people's lives for the better. But Jesse, you do nothing but talking all the time. I know, Bob. That's because the people at home can't talk with me while I'm on a walk. Otherwise, I'd be listening more. The moral of the story is this. God talks to me, but I think God talks to all of us. Are you just willing to open your ears and your eyes and see the signs? Speaking of signs, we found a live one. Look at that beautiful bird. Holy moly. And I'll tell you what else is going to happen. My ASU Sun Devils are going to go to the championship and they're going to win. And don't get me wrong, I know the odds of them winning are still low, but darn it, they look good. By the way, I wasn't joking a second ago. Guys, I do think God does talk to us. Now, if there is no God, then it is just really weird coincidences that happen in my life. But it's just really weird how that happens. I wanted to remind you guys that I had done the Christmas angel thing, but I wasn't remembering it. You know, sometimes it's just hard to remember things on a whim. But when you get a sign like 3 kids driving their scooters, that's a good way to remember it, right? And you want to remember that there's wonderful things in this world, but sometimes you need to hear a story about a mother and son reuniting. And you want to know something? There was probably a time when Lindsay, when she was 17 and she gave up Hunter for adoption, there was probably a moment in her life of sadness because nobody wants to have to make those horrible decisions. You know, there's a lot of decisions that men and women have to make as they're going through the trials and tribulations of life. Not all of us are happy about those decisions. People do deserve forgiveness. They do deserve second chances. Yes, sometimes I wake up on the wrong side of the bed, but that's what you have to remember about everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Be forgiving, because sometimes people do wake up on the wrong side of the bed, and believe it or not, you're no different. Sometimes you're gonna say and do things that you really aren't proud of. Try to forgive yourself. Try to be a better person. If you ever have somebody that helps you out of a jam and you can't help them back, then try to pay it forward and help others. There's so many forks in the road where you're going to have a choice. Do I do the righteous good thing that's hard, or do I take the easy way out and do the not so good thing? I challenge you. Do the harder path. Do the right thing. When others do wrong by you, don't repay them with evil. Repay them with kindness. You can do this. I believe in you. And you can also lose weight. And this battle with the sugar demons, it is real, but we can do it together. I'm so pumped. I'm looking forward to our next challenge, and I hope you guys are there with me. Have a beautiful day. Life is beautiful. I'll see you tomorrow.